guys, it's Kenny, and today I decided to participate in one of Jazza's art competitions. And knowing me, I had to record it. The record button was just sitting right there. I had to press it. Hence why you are seeing this footage and having this obnoxious voiceover. The whole point of the competition was to mirror Jazza's long-running series of redrawing kids' artwork in his style. And knowing his series had more additions than my comic series, it was a pretty beloved thing. So, when Jazza got a sponsor, he made a competition where you could redraw some of his childhood drawings in your style, and I went and did that. There were 3 to choose from, and I ended up picking this water guy to redraw. Why did I pick him? Because he's hot. Because he's shirtless. Anatomy. I wanted to practice anatomy, I swear. Though, I'd come to realize that this would be a much bigger project than I thought. I know nothing about anatomy. I have a general idea of proportions, but my style has such a striking version of anatomy, drawing realistically is not my strong suit. I only recently started focusing on drawing hands, and they used to look like this. Take it down. I have so many regrets. Anyways, because of that, I used the original piece and referenced it closely, so I didn't mess it up entirely. I would have experimented with the camera angle more, but I was really out of my comfort zone, and I'd find other ways to make this piece unique. It took quite a few layers of sketching, but with the main part of it done, I was ready to move on to lining. One thing you might notice are the filler faces I put on the character for fun. And yes, I sat alone in my room laughing at my own stupid joke after. It was great. Now, you may think that was just for fun, right? Right, baby? No, you'll see soon. I had so much fun with this shirtless guy's face. I went full cute lifeguard on this boy. The lining gave me a bit of trouble at first just because of how many circles there were. I use an iPad and a pony stylus to draw. So the cheapest stylus come, and I absolutely adore it. It does what it needs to and looks way better than my fingers, but it can be a bit unpredictable, especially with circles. It took an awful amount of redos just to get the pecs right and all the circular muscles. An awful amount of time. I decided to switch up my lining style a bit and line the water with a deep blue instead of black, which only made me love the lining more. It was just great. I loved it. He was so hot. Great. With my vision coming together and the most cool guy look on the seaman's face, I was ready to color it. Whenever I do a piece, I always fill in the base color, then come in with some corrections and add gradients and shading. That means this guy's skin color was going to give me trouble. I always want an in-between color or a color that the object would normally be for the base. But I could not figure out what it was for this guy. I saw the guy is quite tan, so I put on a darker shade and tried my best to match the piece. But once I started adding highlights and everything, the color got a bit lost. I still like him, but I didn't do the best job matching the skin tone. With all the bases colored done, I started the fun process of adding variation to it all. Mixing all the blue and teals, letting it wrap around his body and his arms was just awesome. I followed the reference photo closely to shade the body, but I got a feel for it and was able to do it on my own. The hair was tough, but it came out okay. Now, with everything shaded and done, it was time to do the background. I was so excited for this part. Besides the face, this was where I was going to make this piece stand out. It was going to be stormy with freaking water tornadoes. I think they're called water spouts, but water tornadoes sounds way cooler, so I'm going to go with that. I had sketched out the general placement in the beginning, but now it was time to actually do it. I had a hard time in the beginning trying to get the shape right, but after a minute, I had 3 lined. I also added another layer to the ocean and extended it out further. I added variants to make the water swirl around and look cool, and by then, the piece was done. Now this piece really made me stretch my style and get out of my comfort zone. It was honestly fun to do. So much fun that I just couldn't stop at this face. No. I had to add variants in everything. So I introduced to you the kissy face fish boy. I didn't know I needed him in my life. I love him. But that's not all, folks. I give you 2015. Honestly, the whole thing speaks for itself. I'd love to share these on Instagram, but I don't want my mom calling me asking why I'm drawing shirtless men now. So these are going to go to Twitter with Jazza's art competition hashtag. And I'm excited to see the results. See ya! I have the general idea of proportions, but I know nothing about anatomy. I have the general idea of proportions, but what is this? I have the general idea of proportions, but I have the general idea of proportions, but I have such a strict